Hello, my name is Marcello. Welcome to the Source AV Design Group's YouTube channel. Today we will discuss a new flagship product from our friends at Woo Audio, the WA24 20th Anniversary Edition Headphone Amplifier. 20 years, what a monumental achievement for any brand. Like many businesses, Woo Audio began in 2004 in a small apartment in Queens, New York with a father and his two sons. This illustration shows Woo Audio's path from its current flagship headphone amplifier, the WA24, to its humble beginnings with the WA1. 20 years have allowed Jack and Woo Audio to learn a great deal about making headphone tube amplifiers. The WA24 is the culmination of these learnings, with every internal component carefully selected and thoughtfully designed for the ultimate sonic performance in the Woo Audio lineup. At the center of the WA24 are four custom-made 3A109E mid-gain direct-heated triode power tubes. According to Woo Audio, these Strati tubes were chosen for their extremely low noise and long-lasting durability. When used with the appropriate tubes, the WA24 is a self-biasing amplifier. I asked Jack why they chose the Strati tubes, and he said direct heated tubes are known for their pure, natural sound. However, such tubes tend to be noisier than indirect heated tubes. Initially, the 3A109 tube was developed by STC and released in 1925. The 3A109E tube made by Strati in South Korea is a new production re-engineered for higher performance. The tube has one of the lowest noise signatures and low microphonics. Most importantly, these tubes are highly suitable for the WA24 design and sound marvelous. Jack came across this brand a few years ago while looking for 2A3 and 300B tubes. Intrigued, he ordered their standard 3A109E tubes for the WA24 development, and they yielded great results. To put these tubes in a full test, Woo Audio ran the tubes on the WA24 during development for almost a year, and there was zero issue with them. The team at Strati pays close attention to details and builds each tube to last. The custom tubes present the lowest noise and robust performance while offering a unique look harmonizing with a WA24 appearance. I also asked Jack about tube rolling with this amplifier, even though this is an amplifier, in my opinion, doesn't need any different tubes, and I love the sound of the amplifier as is. Jack let me know currently there is no tube rolling option for the WA24 because the tubes are selected to achieve the highest performance. They are long lasting and last for thousands of hours of operation. However, Woo Audio is in the process of evaluating compatible tubes, which they will test alternatives thoroughly before making a recommendation, so stay tuned. The amplifier has a Class A single-ended topology, point-to-point wiring, zero feedback, and an oversized output transformer for ample power and dynamic range even for inefficient headphones. Woo Audio reduced wiring length for the shortest path possible when designing the WA24. This design, according to Woo Audio, allows for the most streamlined and refined circuit topology, taking the audio input to the step-up driver, to the single-ended trio power tubes, to the output transformer, and lastly, to the audio output. Many of you will ask why the amplifier isn't fully balanced, so I asked for you. Jack and the team at Woo Audio tested both a balanced design and a single-ended design and preferred the way the single-ended version sounded and the number of tubes required compared to the balanced design prototype. This doesn't mean you can't use your expensive balanced cables with the amplifier if you have them, as Woo has put every headphone output we could want on the front of the WA24, with a 4-pin XLR, 4.4mm Pentacon, 3.5mm, and of course a 1/4-inch headphone out. One of the new innovations for the WA24 is the in-house developed step-up driver. This precision step-up transformer is built with a nanocrystalline core and oxygen-free copper wiring. Woo Audio states that the circuit is simplified by replacing traditional active drivers such as vacuum tubes or transistors, reducing interference and increasing performance. When speaking with Jack from Woo Audio, he said, throughout the years of designing many amplifiers, they realized that the driver is often a bottleneck of the amplifier. The driver is the first step of the amplifier, which is crucial to sonic perfection. A traditional driver typically uses active components such as vacuum tubes or transistors that require external power and consist of a set of peripheral components to complete the driver. These requirements make the circuit become complex, impacting sound quality. The custom step-up driver is a passive component that greatly simplifies a circuit and reduces distortion and noise usually found in an active driver. Technically, the step-up driver is a step-up transformer with a nanocrystalline core and hand-wound with oxygen-free copper, which is the thickness of a few strands of hair. Each driver requires incredible attention to detail, precision, and a tremendous amount of time to build. The result is an ultra-low noise, ultra-low loss, and wide bandwidth driver ideal for handling delicate audio signals to pass on to the power stage. When I first received the amplifier, I was curious as to why there wasn't a preamplifier in the WA24 like in the WA23 Luna. I figured it was to focus on getting the best sound quality possible with headphones. So I asked Jack and he let me know the WA24 has a singular goal as the best possible sounding headphone amplifier. For this reason, Woo Audio keeps the core function only and nothing else matters. It is a go-to headphone amp if you need a reference or simply use it to enjoy an immersive, full headphone listening experience. The design approach echoes their first product, the WA1, an OTL tube headphone amp born in 2004. Removing the preamp output effectively simplifies the circuit and thus reduces the chance of noise introduction. I also asked Jack about the complexity of manufacturing the WA24. It's a beautiful chassis with an internal power supply versus some of their other premium amplifiers. He said the physical look is attractive and has a purpose. The WA24 is a two-tier chassis with a power supply on the lower tier of the chassis. The power transformers are enclosed inside a shielded metal compartment on the back of the lower tier to minimize electrical interference to other components. To eliminate any possible noise contamination, the output transformers are placed in the front compartment of the top-tier chassis. Isolation and distancing of the components are two keys in this amp's mechanical design. There are some machining challenges throughout the manufacturing process. What you see is two blocks of aluminum stacking on each other. There are no visible screws through most viewing angles because of meticulous planning. The large smooth surfaces demand extreme care. A new tool is created to reveal the sharp straight lines and turns. Inside the chassis, internal component compartments and wire channels are milled through solid aluminum to create a dedicated space for an effective architecture. These processes require a tremendous amount of time and specific machining skills to accomplish. In all the years of reviewing audio products both for TSAV and before working for TSAV, the WA24's two-tier chassis is both beauty and function. Its precision machine work makes it hands down the most beautiful tube amplifier I've ever had the pleasure of listening to in my home. Since Woo Audio generally doesn't list power output ratings on its website for all its products, I asked Jack how well the WA24 would drive less efficient headphones. He said the WA24 is well-rounded within reason and without compromise. It is simple to explain how powerful the amp is because it's just a number. Is the higher the number, the better? What if the amp offers a high output wattage but makes a loud sound rather than music? There is a delicate balance between power and sonics. While the WA24 is not the most powerful amp in their lineup, it is the most efficient for power delivery. The amp offers a linear power output without distortion, even at max volume. Effectively, the amp is not only suitable for highly sensitive headphones, but also satisfying for demanding headphones such as the Abyss 1266TC and the Susvara. I spoke with some CanJam listeners this year in between while I was live streaming for TSAV. Many listeners were lined up to hear the WA24, and most listeners who listened at reasonable volume levels had no issues with harder to drive headphones. For listeners who like to listen very loud, a DAC with 6-volt out can be helpful and is something you should test out when you visit our TSAV showroom or your local Woo dealer. In my experience at home, I don't own extremely difficult to drive headphones, and they were all easily driven by the WA24. I also asked Jack about how he was able to achieve such a low noise floor with point-to-point wiring. He told me the internal wiring scheme and component positioning are critical. The amp reduced a substantial amount of wire length by utilizing a mechanical design of the chassis. All internal components are purposefully laid out and specifically connected to avoid intercepting noise. There is no shortcut to making this amp quiet, but they put tremendous effort and time into perfecting the design. The WA24 uses a beautiful backlit 50mm brass enclosed Alps Alpine RK50 potentiometer for volume control that has a magnificent feel and precise volume control. As I said in the WA23 Luna amplifier video we produced, the WA24 looks good from every angle anywhere in your listening room. While I love the look of the WA23, having everything in one chassis aesthetically is even more impressive. The WA24 uses PTFE tube sockets and PTFE insulated silver-coated OFC hookup wires. According to Woo Audio, it has a frequency response of 10 Hz to 40 kHz and is compatible with headphones with 8 to 600 ohm impedance and 74 dB to 120 dB sensitivity. So let's get into the most important part. How does the WA24 sound? Big, bold, impactful, dynamic, transparent, and emotional. The last one is especially important to me as a listener, as I have heard plenty of amazing headphone amplifiers that lack emotion. When I say emotion, I mean the ability of the amplifier when paired with your favorite pair of headphones to allow you to escape into the music and experience an emotional and physical response. At times, an amplifier can sound either too warm or too analytical to allow me to stop analyzing music and just escape into it. The WA24 is the perfect balance for my preferences, not sounding overly warm or overly analytical. When paired with a Ferrum WANDLA as the DAC, I am left with absolute bliss when listening. Please don't mistake what I am saying, as the WA24 isn't a beast regarding performance, because it is. It can display so much detail and dynamics with an exceptionally black background that allows for pinpoint accuracy on your headphone soundstage. The WA24 is also very transparent, so you will hear changes when swapping your DAC, CD player, or other source components. For instance, my Core Hugo TT2 and Hugo 2 create a more analytical sound than the more neutral-leaning WANDLA DAC. It is because of this that I prefer the WANDLA with the WA24 with the headphones I have in-house, but more analytical listeners than I am may prefer the more analytical house sound of those Core DACs or other DACs in your collection. I asked Jack how they achieved this big and bold sound. He said the step-up driver is certainly a contributing factor in improving the sound. It is their breakthrough technology, both measurable and audible. The noise floor is so low that it is not a distracting factor for most headphones. Effectively, all the power goes to the music in its purest and cleanest presentation. It is a remarkable component of which they are very proud. In addition, Woo Audio implemented a new winding technique for the output transformer, OPT, that further reduces loss while increasing bandwidth. OPT is a vocal cord of a tube amp. This is Woo Audio's core technology, which they develop in-house. The OPT is optimized and fully utilized with the power tubes. Together, the power and output stage work seamlessly and communicate music down to the wires and straight to the headphones. You will understand the impactful sound as soon as you hear it. Finally, the WA24 uses a matching quad of single triode power tubes, each pair responsible for one channel. The pair of triodes are connected in parallel in a single-ended Class A topology for the highest precision and timing for the amplification. The result is clean, note-packed, delicate information with a colorful texture. The music will draw you in and bring you closer to the musicians as if you are listening live. During my time testing and listening to the WA24 in-house, I used many different headphones and even a set of earphones to test the noise floor and formulate my sound impressions. It didn't matter what headphones I listened with, the WA24 magically brought out all the best qualities of the headphones I have while sprinkling some Woo magic dust into the mix, helping to curb some issues I have with some of my headphones for my preferences. This is my subjective opinion. However, in my years of listening to audio products, the WA24 is one of the only headphone tube amplifiers I have heard that delivers on its price in all areas: look, feel, aesthetics, a low noise floor, and incredible sound quality. I've had the great benefit of hearing some other similarly priced flagship headphone amplifiers in-house from other manufacturers that couldn't deliver on all of the things I believe make a great flagship headphone amplifier. Most importantly, a low enough noise floor to make listening with most headphones enjoyable. My pair of flagship headphones, the Yamaha YH5000 SE, is a set of headphones I truly enjoy. However, paired with overly analytical Dacs and amps, the headphones present some issues, especially in the treble region. Similarly, when paired with overly warm amplifiers, they can present some problems with the bass regions. The WA24 amplifier is a spectacular sonic match for the YH5000 SE headphones and was easily one of my favorite pairings. It allowed me to use my preferred leather pads for their more impressive soundstage and detailed presentation, while not giving me some of the peakiness in the treble region these pads can present on some amplifiers and Dacs. The Meze Elite, one of my favorite headphones from Meze Audio, is a tremendous pairing for the Woo Audio WA24. It engulfs you in the music while creating so much emotion and joy when listening. Orchestral compositions from The Last Samurai soundtrack sound like I am listening live to Hans Zimmer as he orchestrates and composes one of my all-time favorite movie soundtracks. Listening to the DCA E3 headphones, likely the most difficult to drive headphones I have in-house, made for the absolute best listening experience I have ever had with these headphones. The E3 has a bit more treble than I prefer, especially when paired with a Cord Hugo TT2 or Hugo 2. However, when paired with the WA24 and the Ferrum Audio WANDLA as the DAC, the DCA E3 was one of my favorite headphones to listen to with the WA24. The synergy between the two for my preferences is very impressive, allowing the treble to sound a bit less aggressive while presenting so much air and sparkle in the top end. The soundstage presentation is spectacular when listening to the E3 with the WA24, allowing every instrument, vocalist, and sound to be quickly pinpointed. Listening to the Focal Celeste, one of my favorite closed-back headphones for under $1,000, is magnificent. These headphones are very efficient and sensitive, and when listening to them at appropriate volume levels, I was blown away by how quiet the noise floor of the WA24 is. Focal headphones are great for sniffing out noise in an audio system. It took me turning the volume to around the halfway point on the WA24 without any music playing to hear any form of noise in the chain. However, listening at this volume level while playing music would be actually a terrible idea for anyone because it would undoubtedly cause hearing damage. I also listened to two of my favorite Sennheiser headphones, the HD660S2 and HD650. When people talk about how these headphones can scale with impressive tube amplifiers, they are not kidding. I have heard the headphones scale up in performance before, but never like this. Headphones that cost around $500 or less shouldn't sound this good, but when paired with the Woo Audio WA24, they sound like $1,000 headphones and are simply put one of the best amplifiers I have ever heard for these headphones to date. Last, I listened to my pair of the Meze Alba earphones to see how well the WA24 could perform with earphones. Similarly to the Focal Celeste, when listening at normal healthy volume levels, even when music is not playing, the noise floor of the WA24 is one of the quietest headphone tube amplifiers I have ever heard. In addition, the pairing of the Meze Alba earphones, although on the more affordable side, sounded tremendous with the WA24. Something about this amplifier makes everything I have plugged into it sound bigger, bolder, and better than any other headphone amplifier I've heard. So let's wrap up, as this is already a very long video. I asked Jack a couple more important questions. First, I asked him why he thought a listener should choose the WA24 over, say, the WA33 or the WA23 Luna if they were trying to decide. He said the WA24 is uniquely designed as a low-profile, all-tube desktop headphone amp. It is the quietest tube amp suitable for a very wide range of headphones, including IEMs and demanding headphones. A low running temperature throughout the entire chassis makes it user-friendly and easy to place anywhere in the house. Lastly, I asked him about some of the most important things he had learned over the last 20 years that led to his success. He said, keep things simple whenever you can. Keep an open mind and heart to anyone, listen to your customers, and treat them like your friends. Stay focused and persevere until you achieve your goal. If you stayed to watch this video until the end, thank you. I hope you get out to your local dealer ASAP to hear this amplifier and see if you feel the same way about it as I do. We all hear things a little differently and have different preferences. Regarding my preferences, Jack and the team at Woo Audio have created my favorite headphone tube amplifier. Bravo, Jack, and thank you for allowing us at TSAV to review your masterpiece headphone amplifier. Priced at nearly $13,000, the WA24 is for the serious headphi listener looking for a truly endgame headphone amplifier. However, if you are serious about purchasing the amplifier, don't wait. There is a pre-order sale going on until November 15th that allows you to purchase the WA24 for $11,050. You can visit the links in the video description to learn more about the WA24 or to make a purchase. We have some cool videos coming this year with new product announcements, so please consider subscribing to our channel today. From $150 earphones to multi-million-dollar home audio, cinema, and automation systems, TSAV is a hi-fi paradise for building the system of your dreams. In the comments, let us know what you think of the Woo Audio WA24 20th Anniversary Headphone Amplifier. Did you get to hear it at CanJam SoCal this year? Until next time, friends, remember, let the music be your guide.